the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Timera Bell Show. I am Harvest Moments. It is Friday and I hope you are excited. Somebody say Friday has finally arrived, right? If you can go ahead and share the video, tag for DM5. And I just want you to think about some harvest moments. What do I mean when I say that? I want you to think about some things that happened to you this week that was actually good. Some things that had you wowed. Some things where you were able to say, man, God did it for you. Or even some things that you said you were wanting to accomplish and you actually accomplished those things. What I want you to do, I want you to put those things in the chat. Yeah, that's it. I want you to begin to type, put it in the chat, and let somebody else know that God is going to do it for them, that those doors are going to open up for you. If you're an entrepreneur, I Am Harvest Moments is great for you. How much money did you say you were going to make at the beginning of the week? Did you reach that goal? If you didn't, how much money did you actually make? How much do you need to take and put over to next week? If you work a job, all right, when you went into work this week, how did you go? What mindset did you have? Did you have the mindset of, I'm going to go in, I'm going to impact, I'm going to speak life into other people, I'm going to encourage other people? Or did you go into your job like, another day, I don't want to be here? Let me tell you that your thought process is so important. So if you go into your job and you're lollygagging, you go into your job and you don't want to be there, things happen, and those things are called negative things. Things will occur that make you hate your job even more. So you have to change your mindset and say, I'm going on a mission. One of the things that you got to realize is, do you work your job or do your job work for you? And what do I mean when I say that? If you are an employee and you have the mindset where you work for your job, then of course there may be things that you hate about your job. You may go to work and be like, but once you have the mindset of my job works for me, now you start looking for the resources. Now you start looking for the benefits of actually having that job. Is that job teaching you how to have customer service for your own business? Is that job bringing connections for you that when you start your own business or when you're out and about, now you've met some people that can be beneficial to the rest of your life? It is how you perceive things. You know, I remember when I was in corporate America, I went to work for myself. What do I mean? There were things that I learned on the job force that helped me in my business, because even when I was in corporate America, I knew that entrepreneurship was my life. I knew that I wasn't going to be there long. You know, I tend to tell this story to so many people because maybe you need some encouragement on today, you that actually work a job. When I went into corporate America, what caused me to go into it was I had my own business after undergrad. Started my own school business in my hometown. I found myself getting stuck. I found myself being in a place I didn't want to be. So I left, but I knew if I wanted to maintain a certain lifestyle, I had to go to work. I had to go into corporate America. So I made that decision, but my mind was set on, I'm not going to be here always. This is temporary to get me to the next level. See, when you begin to think about harvest moments, harvest is when you produce and you begin to pick crops. That means every season of your life is not necessarily harvest. But if you start looking at Fridays as harvest moments, you're going to start looking at throughout the week, what crops did you pick? What things that you pick that could actually benefit your life? So I remember when I was in corporate America and I got in management. I became a manager after 90 days of training. Not the 91st day, I became a manager in a field that I was not familiar in a field that I didn't go to school in, but I was determined. And I needed to go into management because I needed to learn how to lead people in the corporate world, because I had a vision, and that vision was to run my own businesses, but I didn't want to be a entrepreneur that identified themselves as a business owner, but they wasn't writing checks. I didn't want to be that entrepreneur. I wanted to be an entrepreneur that wrote checks, that brought jobs to other people. And so now you got to ask yourself, who are you? Who are you? And throughout the week, we learn who we are. You will learn if you're a negative person or a positive person. Start looking at the crops that you pick. Do you look at certain situations in your life and you're saying, oh man, here we go again? If that is you, then you need to be around positive energy. You need to be around people that are positive, because there are certain people in this world that critique everything. Nothing is right. Nothing. Well, the thing about harvest, it means something was done right. Something was done right. I don't care how bad your week look for the harvest moments. Look for the moments throughout the week that made you smile. Look for the moments throughout the week that made you feel accomplished. Why? Because that is the light that you're looking for. That is the thing that's going to keep you pushing. That's the thing that's going to keep you having faith. That's the thing that's going to keep you visualizing a future for your life. You do not want your light to get dimmed down and to turn into darkness. You don't want that. So you got to start looking for the harvest moment. So if you have been sitting here listening to me talking, you haven't thought of one harvest moment, I want you to go into a meditation. I want you to breathe in and breathe out and begin to think about your Monday. Think about your Tuesday. Think about your Wednesday or your Thursday. Why? Because I promise you this, there's a harvest moment in it. And you're going to understand that as you dwell on harvest moments, you're going to produce more harvest moments. We all go through things. Like I said, some of you, like I said the other day, some of you have a bill problem. You have problems with your bills. You have problems with the people you associate with. You got problems with your parents. Some of you want to talk to your parents, but you don't know how to because they may push you down. And so what you got to begin to understand is in life, you have the opportunity and the ability to create the life that you want. How do you do that? You got to make certain decisions. You got to make a decision to be mentored by some of the best. You got to make a decision to get around people that are smarter than you. You got to make a decision to get around people that can show you the light. See, if you have a bill problem, if you have a financial problem, there's darkness in that area. And the only way to produce light in that area, you got to get around other people that can tell you how to get it done. Because one of the things I've learned in life is it's so easy to spend money, especially with a debit or credit card. It's so easy. It's easier to spend money with a card than it is to spend money with cash. Because with a card, you're just swiping away, and you're not thinking. I remember I was watching a young lady on social media, and she said, I know we're getting away from the cash, but if you really want to budget, start carrying cash. So I decided to try that, and I went to a cafe, and I only had cash. Well, that was a real struggle for me, okay? It was a struggle because I'm looking at the menu, and I'm like, oh, I want that. I want to try that, right? And I'm like, oh, but I only took $20 out of my account, and I had made up in my mind that I was only going to spend that $20. And so I'm looking, and I'm about to pull out my card, and all I hear is discipline. Because the things and the places that God wants to take us is going to require discipline, right? So instead of getting just my card out and getting what I wanted, I had to make some decisions. I had to decide on that menu, which piece did I really want? What did I want to try? Or did I want to go with something that I had already had before? And so I made a decision. And with that decision, I was able to take that $20 and utilize that without going over my budget. I'm saying all of that to say that when we begin to put ourselves in a disciplined state, when we begin to make up in our mind that we're going to fulfill certain things so that we can pick out our harvest, so that we can begin to pick the crops out of our life and pluck the weeds and throw the weeds away, it's going to cause us to do certain things that our flesh, ourself, is uncomfortable doing, but it's going to be beneficial to us. It's going to be beneficial to us. You know, and so I want you to put your harvest moments in the chat. I want to feel the love. I want to feel what you experienced this week. I want to know your success stories. You know, one of my harvest moments this week was going to the gym. And so many of you know I go to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm going to be real. Some nights I don't go to bed until 3 in the morning, right? My kids tend to try to keep me up, right? And I have to speak to my mind. So earlier this week, my youngest son woke me up out of my sleep at 3:30 in the morning. 3:30 in the morning. Had to go to the gym at 5. Well, I wake up at 4:15 to go to the gym to prepare and make sure my children are set, right? And so I get ready to go to the gym. No, he wakes me up at 3:30 and I'm tired. And so I lay back down and I go to sleep. And then I start hearing be, do, have. Be, do, have in my sleep. And that is actually said by the great Myron Golden. He's an amazing, amazing multimillionaire coach. He's an amazing coach, right? And all I kept hearing him say is be, do, have. You have to become who you were destined to be, who you desire to be, and then you have to do the things that it takes, and then you'll have the things that you see. And so when that was ringing in my brain, in my head, I jumped up out of my sleep and said, I got to get to the gym. So I went to the gym. Now, later on this week, I missed my 5 o'clock because I overslept. So I made a decision to go to the gym at 8:15 in the morning. So I went, but I challenged myself and I decided to go work out for a total of 2 hours. I took 2 different classes. I was going to do 3. I was really tempted, and I think I'm going to try that next week. But the energy that I got behind it was so mind-blowing. You know, we want results in certain things, but we're not willing to put in the work. You know, when we're talking about harvest, we think about a farmer picking the crops. But if that farmer does not plant the seeds, if that farmer does not water the seeds, then there's no crop to be picking. There's some things that you want out of your life. You may want the big house, right? You may want the nice cars. Come on now. You may want those things. You may want the Mercedes and the BMW and all of those things. But until you start planting the seeds and watering correctly, you're not going to be able to pick the crop. Therefore, you're not going to be able to receive the work and the blessing of your labor. So you have to ask yourself, what are you actually doing? What are you doing in your downtime? I hear a lot of people, they say, I don't have the time. But the thing is, you actually do have the time. You really and truly do. When I made that decision to go to the gym, right, I had so many people, because I put a post on Facebook that said, from a 3X to a large in 3 months. Now, when I started my journey of going to the gym, it was not to lose weight. That is not why I started going to the gym. I'm going to tell you why I started going to the gym. In the month of March, I turned 33 years old. But in the month of March, I was coached by some of the best in the industry. I invested in 5 different coaches that make over millions of dollars. And I invested in the month of March. I mean, I was just putting my money where it needed to go. And I got coached by some of the best in the industry, right? From all the way from ministry to business, to finances, to life. I was investing. That's what I wanted for my birthday. I wanted to make sure that I got into the proper rooms around those individuals that can help transform my life, because I got tired. I got tired of where I was mentally. I got tired of where I was physically. And I had to make a decision. And so that's the decision I made. Now, one of the last coaching sessions that I was a part of, I began to realize that everybody is saying the same thing, that they work out. They work out. It's something to this workout, right? So I was like, okay, they work out. But then I began to think about some stuff. What came to me was when I played college basketball. When I played college basketball, we worked out 5 times a day, starting at 5 o'clock in the morning, ending at 1 o'clock in the morning. We had 5 different workout sessions, and I didn't understand it. I cried. I asked questions. What does this have to do with the game of basketball? I asked all these things because I was confused. And the thing that I had to realize was I wasn't coachable. I wasn't coachable at all, and I didn't understand how harvest was produced. But I did it anyway, right? Because I was on scholarship. So I did it anyway because my coach made me do it. But in the process of that, there were people that left. You know, when I started playing college basketball, it was 8 of us as freshmen. By the time the season started, it was only 3 of us. Because one of the things that hard work does, it removes those that are not willing to work hard. Hard work is hard, all right? It's hard to be a champion. And so I didn't know, why were we running up hills? Why were we running around the whole entire university at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? There were times I would run around that gym and I wouldn't make it back to my dorm until 8 something in the morning. It took 3 hours just to do it. But then as I continued to do it, I got faster and I got faster and I got faster. But I was still complaining because I didn't understand. How many of you have complained about stuff because you didn't understand, but you prayed for stuff? You were praying for a better life. You were praying that God did all these things. But I didn't understand the benefits of these seeds that were sown, the benefits of us working out 5 times a day. I didn't understand none of that until the season started. When the season started and we were the fastest, nobody could catch up with us. Most of the shots that we made were long. Why? Because we were the fastest. Nobody could catch up with us. I began to see the fruit of our labor. I began to see that we were unstoppable. Nobody could beat us. Nobody could defeat us, to the point we forgot how to lose. We forgot how to lose. And when I thought about that, I said, man, my coach, my basketball coach, taught me how to win in life. He taught me how to win in life. You got to put in the work. So I'm listening to these millionaires in the month of March, and they all saying the same thing. They get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, they start working out. That's how they start their day. And I'm saying, 5 o'clock in the morning, why do you have to do that? But then I'm like, stop asking questions, Timera. They know how to be a champion. You got to understand, God will bring people in your life that know stuff that you don't know, and your normal state, your current state, gonna be like, you don't know what you're talking about. It don't take all that. If it didn't take all that, why aren't you there yet? Why haven't you fulfilled the things that you said you were going to fulfill? Why haven't you picked your crop? Why? Because you're not willing to do what it takes. And so I made that decision. And in the month of March, I made the decision, I'm going to go to the gym. I made it so quick, you guys, that I got up the next day and I went and I got into the gym. I got into the gym, and then I knew that I needed a coach. I didn't go to the gym just to go. I needed a coach. So I asked about classes. I joined the gym that provided classes, because if I do it at my own pace, I'm going to quit. Sometimes we got to be honest with ourselves. We got to be honest with ourselves and say that we're too undisciplined to fulfill these things, and we need somebody that's going to keep us going, that's going to keep pushing us, right? We got to be real. So that's what I did. And so when people have been asking me since I put that post, how did you do it? That's how. I made a decision. That's all I did. I made a decision to not just be a farmer. I made a decision to be a farmer that actually picked crop. That's what I did. And you got to make the decision for yourself. You got to say, I'm going to be the farmer of my life, so that I can sow the proper seeds and water them correctly, so that I can pick crop for my life, right? You can't expect your mom to pick your crop. You can't expect your friends to pick a crop. You can't expect your siblings to pick your crop. You got to make that decision for yourself. And when you make that decision for yourself, you're going to see your life transform. You're going to see greatness fall on your life, you guys. So again, I hope you're putting some harvest moments in the chat. We will be back after the break, you guys. I'll see you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready to recharge in relationships? You don't want to miss our amazing host, Timera Bell, the entrepreneur, business coach, pastor, and impactor. Our amazing and exciting co-host, Royal Dynasty. Our special guest, Tim Washington, the DJ, entrepreneur, and business guru. Pastors Leon and Delilah Vernon, pastors of Envision Global United. It's time to recharge while single, dating, married, or divorced. Yes, yes, and yes. Remember, everyone has a story, and everyone's story can help someone else's story. If you don't know, now you know. The time is now, and now is the time. Let's take it up a notch, and let's recharge in life and in business. Join us with special guest Shay Reed, the entrepreneur and credit expert. Jasmine Mike Poindexter, the entrepreneur and virtual assistant expert. Rhonda T. Pearson, the entrepreneur and business coach. Coach Lonnie Bartlett, a Georgia Sports Hall of Famer. Remember, entrepreneurs, people know people you don't know, but people you need to know. It's your duty to win. It's your duty to win. So get in the room so you can produce vision in the earth. Hey, hey, hey now. We're not done yet. Wake up. It's time to charge up. Let's recharge spiritually and mentally. Make sure you are there to hear the amazing story of Elizabeth McCain, from broke to multi-millionaire. Quinetta Moore, the entrepreneur and branding strategist. Dr. Shamika Robinson for words of encouragement. Belinda Scott, amazing and anointed gospel recording artist. Register and get your seat today. I said register and get your seat today. Meet us there physically or virtually, but meet us there June 24th through the 26th. We'll see you there.
Hey you guys, how you doing? I hope you've been enjoying the Timera Bell Show. I hope you've gotten something from Boss Rise Up, Tea with the Ladies, The Opinion, The Prophetic Room. I am Harvest Moments, right? I hope you're grabbing something every single day that can impact your life, transform your life so that you can be the best person you can be. What I need your help with? Yeah, I said it. I need your help. I need you to help me spread this amazing word, spread this amazing experience around the globe. How can you help me? All you have to do is share the video. That's it, right? How easy is that? Share, right? I know you see it on your screen right now. You see it? Share. Just click that share button to help us impact the lives of our young people, impact the lives of the people around the world. We need your help because together, we can reach more than 1,000. That's what the word says. 1 can reach 1,000. 2 can reach 10,000. Oh man. So what can we do together? We can reach thousands and help this world become a better place. So I'm just asking you to help by just clicking that share button, tagging 4 people, DMing 5. That's it. And we're back, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the break. Make sure you share the video, tag 4, DM5, and allow me to know where you're from. So make sure you state where you're from. Are you from Georgia, Florida, South Carolina? Shout out where you're from, all right? So we're talking about seed sowing. We're talking about crops. We're talking about all these things. And I'm going to be real. It relates to peace as well. I'm going to show y'all how crops can be picked. That's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a little demonstration because maybe you're trying to figure out how to do it. Okay, so in 2012, I was in undergrad and the Spirit of God came to me. I began to, now one thing about me is this, I don't do nothing just to be doing it. I know some of you do. You be like, I just do it to do it. I don't do nothing to just do it. So in 2012, January 2012, the Spirit of God came to me and he was like, you're going to write poetry. I was like, I'm going to write poetry. He was like, you're going to write poetry. And you're going to write your last poetic piece December 2012. Okay. So I'm driving sometimes. I'm chilling sometimes. I'm doing all of this. And pieces are coming to me, right? They're coming to me. So I begin to write. I'm just writing. And next thing you know, another piece and another piece and another piece. You got to understand that these are seeds. These are seeds, right? And with me writing, I'm watering. So as I'm doing that, stuff start coming. More start coming because I'm watering. So you know when you plant a seed and you start watering it and you're taking care of it, next thing you know, you'll see something sprout out and you're like, oh snap, something is coming, right? Something's coming that you did not see. And guess what? Its form began to change. The seed form began to change. That's what happens when you're watering seed correctly. So this is what happens. So I'm writing the pieces, and some of the pieces I'm just writing, okay. Next thing you know, as I continue to water, I start getting pieces like my music. Did I just title this my music? Yes, I did. My music. Can't be of God. My music I wanted to do before I was 15 years old, before I realized what I was called to do was not what I chose. My music would have destroyed my entire soul. Would have been so messed up, singing about money, sex, and drugs. My mind would have been so twisted by my music. And I'm like, whoa. Where did that come from? I was watering seeds. And the more I watered, the bigger the production. It just kept coming. And I'm like, okay, what's really happening? I don't know. So I kept writing. And more kept coming. Things started coming like the I do's. You know, and I was saying to myself, what is really going on? Walking down the aisle, waiting for your bride, saying all those vows, not even knowing lustful love is not unconditional love, saying the I do's, not even knowing what you're getting yourself into, telling her you love her. And she's telling you she loves you too, but neither one of you have a clue to whether or not it's even true until after the I do's. Then you will see whether or not your love was really true. You know, things like that just started coming. And I'm like, where's this coming from? I kept watering the seed. See, I believed in the seed when the seed was handed to me. And then I planted the seed, and then I started watering the seed. And the more I watered, the more stuff started coming. And the more stuff started coming. And I'm like, whoa. This is deep here, right? And next thing you know, now I got a book. Now I got a book full of pages of poetic pieces. And all of it started in my mind. It started in my mind. See, you got to understand that seed starts in the mind. See, I'm not talking about that natural seed that you put in the ground and you put some soil on top of and then you water it every other day or you water it every other week. I'm talking about the seed that starts in the mind. That seed that nobody else can see but you. That seed, because you got to understand that even though you're the only one that see it, a lot of times you get anxious and you get excited and you want to tell a lot of people, but you forget that they can't see that seed. So now they're talking about you, or they're saying you're crazy, or they're saying you thinking too big, until they begin to see it manifest and it become hard that they can see it. It become real. See, I knew that if I was going to write these pieces over and over again, I was producing something that I had never produced in the earth, and that was a book. Yeah, you got to ask yourself, what is it that God is giving you that he wants you to produce so that you can have harvest? You got to begin to ask yourself that question, those questions, and then you can no longer limit yourself. So many times we put limitation on our own self. And I'm going to be real, a lot of times it has something to do with our childhood. Somebody blocked us, somebody told us we couldn't do it, or somebody limited us. And sometimes it's our parents. They didn't believe. I'm talking about harvest moments right now. You know, I remember, see, my parents are a little different from some. My parents was like, do whatever you want to do. I believe in it. But guess what? A light bulb went out in my brain when I was younger. And I realized they were just telling me what I wanted to hear. Did they really believe? I don't know. But something in me said, I don't think they really believe. I think they just telling me that, right? So I made a decision at 18 years old to prove to them that I'm serious. So what did I do? I saw things in my mind. And so I decided to put together my first concert. And I'm like, okay, they say they believe in me, but they're not helping me get through any doors. They're not doing any of those things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to create a concert. And that's exactly what I did. And I didn't do it with money. I didn't have no money, okay? I had vision. That's all I had. So what I did was I began to put it together. I began to talk to individuals so that I can use a certain facility. I didn't pay for the facility. All I did was tell somebody my vision. And they believed in me and they said, okay, go for it. Then I turned around and created the flyer. I'm putting the flyer out there for the concert. And next thing you know, I don't have no musicians. None, right? How you gonna do a concert with no musicians? How you promoting it with no musicians? I was walking out on faith, because in order to produce crop, in order to have harvest moments, you gotta have faith, you guys. You gotta believe and trust God. And that's exactly what I did. And so next thing you know, I remember working for my dad at his phone company, and a young lady walked in, and I was led by the Spirit, only 18 years old, you guys. That is it. I'm led by the Spirit. I feel the Spirit of God, and I'm like, are you okay? And she began to tell me about her grandson, how he was in the hospital and the doctor said that he wouldn't live. And so I grabbed her by the hand and I began to pray for her and her grandson. The next day she pops up at my dad's business, and guess what? Her grandson is with her. She said when she left, she went to the hospital and they said he's going to be okay, and literally they released him. So she decided to bring him so I can meet him. So I began to talk to him. Next thing you know, I'm talking about the concert. And he said, oh, I play drums, I play keyboard, I play bass. And I'm going to be real. I'm looking like, you do all of that? This is how I'm thinking, like, you do all of that? Like, it's just a coincidence that you do all of that? You know, because sometimes when things come in our life, that's what we're thinking. Like, it's too good to be true. And so I'm looking at him, not realizing you just got out of the hospital, so that's why you look the way you look right now. And I'm like, okay. So I'm trusting God, like, God, I'm finna trust you right now. This boy said he can do all that. So we got him for the keys, and he said, I can find you a drummer. I can do this for you. And guess what? He did. And when he played, he was right. He could do all of that. Until this day, that is my brother from another mother and father. And I'm here to tell you right now that when you're on that faith journey and things happen, they happen for a reason. You got to understand that. So we ended up doing the concert. The concert ended up being a huge success, all because of a faith move, all because I saw something in my head. I decided to sow the seed. I decided to water the seed, and then the crop was picked and I had harvest. You have the ability to do the exact same thing. I remember after that concert, my mom came up to me and said, this is really what you're supposed to be doing. For the first time, I finally see it. I had to bring it to realization. Sometimes the people around you, they don't believe because they just can't see it. But do you have enough guts? Do you have enough faith to just do it anyway? You don't have to wait until you have the money. You don't have to wait until you have all the things in place. Sometimes you just got to do it and trust God. And God is going to bring you everything else. God is going to add those things to you because he's God and you are trusting him with something that he gave you. Yeah, God gave you that seed in your mind. He did. And once you begin to realize that and you walk into it, you're going to have a peace that surpasses all understanding. People always ask me, girl, you always excited. That's because I do what I love and I love what I do. Everybody can't say that because they're afraid. They're afraid of what they'll lose. They're afraid of what the mistakes they'll make. I'm not afraid of any of that. And I think it has a lot to do with playing sports in college. I made a lot of mistakes. I said no a lot of times. I remember my teammates, we was running the football field and we was running the stands. And I was like, I quit. I can't do this. And me saying I quit, can't do it, just made us have to run more. And now my teammates are like, Timera, and I'm like, y'all, if y'all come for me, right? But I realized that I was placed in a place that tried me. I remember one time playing college basketball, we were in the weight room. And y'all, I've always been scared of heights. I'm not scared anymore, but I always have. And we had to jump these boxes. And one of those boxes was like this high. And I'm looking like, I can't jump. I've never been gifted in that area. And the workout coach is like, if Timera doesn't jump on this box, we're going to stay here. And we stayed there, you guys. Because I was afraid to jump on the box, okay? All I thought was I was going to hurt myself. How many times have you stopped or didn't do something because you were afraid it was going to bring damage to you? You were afraid it was going to hurt you. But the truth is, it wasn't going to do anything but benefit you the most. Then my workout coach eventually let them go. He said, you're not leaving until you jump this box. When I say I was afraid. I was sweating, I was crying, I was afraid. When I finally jumped the box, he said, now look at there. You could do it. How hard was that? The minute you decide to do something that you're afraid of, you really do realize how hard was that. Like, it wasn't even that hard. But something in you brings fear. Something in you tries to stop you from producing harvest moments in your life. Something in you. And that's why I tell people, even in the relationship area, sometimes it's not the person that you're with. Sometimes it's the fear from the person you're with. They're afraid to love completely, or they're afraid to give everything because of childhood trauma and things that they've gone through. And once you begin to realize that, you'll say, okay, I can understand. And now you'll understand how the love covers a multitude of sin. You'll understand how love embraces and says, I'm going to be patient with you. There are so many times people want harvest moments in their relationships, and it's tough because of who they're actually with. It's not that the person that you're with is that they're a bad person. All it is some things that they're dealing with internally that they need to be healed from. When you're going through that journey of sowing that seed, when you're going through that journey of watering that seed, you're going to understand that there are weeds that try to come during the growing season. There are weeds that try to stop the growth of that seed. And those weeds, if you don't have knowledge of what weeds look like, you won't pluck them out. You got to have knowledge of them. You got to know what weeds look like. You got to know the weeds that are growing in your inner circle. You got to know the weeds that are growing around the people that you say you love, so that when you see it, you're able to pluck it up from the root, so it does not stop the growing. It doesn't stop the elevation. God wants to elevate you in this season of your life. Some of you are saying, well, I just want to quit. I just want to throw in the towel. My money doesn't look the way I want it to look. My family doesn't look the way I want it to look. Life doesn't look the way I want it to look. You got to start looking for those weeds so that you can pluck those weeds out, so that now you can begin to form and mold the life that you desire. I'm not telling you to control it. You can't control it. But one of the things that you can do, you can prep it. You can prepare for it. You got to prepare for your millions. You got to prepare for your six figures. You got to prepare for that successful business. You got to prepare for that better life. And the only way to do that is you got to be able to pluck those weeds. But if you're not watering that seed properly and you're not being consistent with it and you're not being disciplined, you're going to miss it. And those weeds are going to grow faster than what you're moving. Some of us, we're moving too slow. We're moving too slow. We'll pick up a book and start reading it. 3 months later, we still haven't read chapter 2. And the thing is, but you said that you were going to make a change in your life. Some of you keep saying that you're going to the gym, but guess what? A year, 2 years later, you still haven't stepped in the gym. Some of you are saying you're changing the way you eat, but 2 years, 3 years later, you haven't changed anything, but you're wondering why you're having problems with your body. It's because we say things out of our mouth, but we don't necessarily activate those things and do those things. I can only imagine if a farmer actually plants seeds and then turns around and abandons them. Now you just got dead ground. Now you just got seeds in the ground, but you can never see what it can actually produce because nobody is taking care of that ground. No one is taking care of those seeds. You got to learn to take care of you. I'm going to say that again. You got to learn to take care of you. And how do you do that? You start with you. You can't take care of everybody else if you're not taking care of yourself. You got to make up in your mind and say, I got to do this for me. I got to go into self-development for me. I got to write the book for me. I got to start the business for me. I got to eat right for me. Once you make up in your mind that you're going to do it for you, everything else is going to fall in alignment because we can't control everything, but we can control the decisions that we decide to make. You got to say, I'm not going to speak negativity anymore. I'm not going to waste my life on trash. I'm not going to waste my life on certain things. You got to start asking yourself, why do I watch certain shows that I watch? Why do I listen to certain things that I listen to? You got to ask yourself these questions. Why do you got to ask them? Because you got to see if it's in alignment with what you see for your future. Because if it's not in alignment with what you see in your future, that means you're not in alignment with your future. And if you're not in alignment with your future, how do you expect your future to become your future? See, if you're in alignment with something else, then you're getting ready to produce something else. And see, these are things that you got to ask yourself. That's why I say focus on harvest moments. Because if you start focusing on those moments throughout the week that God did this and you accomplished that, you'll see your progress and you'll see where you're going and you'll see what you're actually growing. You got to understand when your focus changes, your life changes. When your focus changes, your life changes. Whatever you're focused on, that's what you're going to see. If you focused on it, that's what's going to come. So what are you focused on? If you focus on your lack, you're going to see lack. If you focus on your bills going to give you a problem. But if you start focusing on your harvest and focusing on your wealth and focusing on your joy and focusing on your peace, that's what you're going to receive. So you guys, we'll be back after the break. Make sure you share the video.
MyVast Incorporated is a virtual assistant company. We serve growing businesses with their administrative support, social media page management, and graphic design work. So our pricing starts at $30 an hour, but we do have many packages that suit your budget. We focus on making our services available to you in an affordable way and make sure that you do get what you need. So let's schedule a discovery call. On the discovery call, we will actually go through the services that you are in need of, and we will actually custom make the packages that's right for you. Our business hours are Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. You can reach us at 478-302-0647 or go on our website at www.myvas, that's myvaas.com to schedule a discovery call and to learn more about our services.
And we're back, you guys. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you got something out of today. I hope that you're saying to yourself, you know what? I'm finna start looking for my harvest moments. I'm finna start looking for my peace. I'm finna start looking for my joy. I'm finna start looking for all of these things throughout the week. And I'm no longer going to dwell and think about the negativity. I'm not going to do that. Let me tell you something. I'm talking to you right now. Do things hit me? Of course they do. Me and my husband got hit with some stuff just today. But one of the things I'm not going to do, I'm not going to worry about it because you can't take it back. You can't change nothing by worrying. But what I am going to do is I'm going to do what I do best because the Bible says your gift make room for you. See, so many things try to stop you from doing your gift. So many things. I mean, things come up. They do. They come up. But you can't stop. I want you to say that. I'm not going to stop. I want you to say that. I'm not going to stop. Things happen. They just do. But you got to start saying, I'm still going to keep my eyes on what's for me. That's what I'm going to do. You got to ask yourself, how do certain people accomplish certain things? Is it because they're not going through? Yeah, they're going through. But they decide to keep their eyes on where they're going. They're determined. And you got to be determined. That's what you got to do. So I want y'all to think about those harvest moments. Put them in the chat. What was that harvest moment? Was it a promotion? Was it the fact that you got to work on time for once? I'm just saying. What was your harvest moment? Was it that you read a book? Was it that you actually got some rest this week? What was your harvest moment? For some of you, it might have been you decided to finally cook in your kitchen, okay? That could be a harvest moment for you, right? So you got to ask yourself, what is a harvest moment for you? And what is it? And focus on those things. And I promise you, it's going to benefit your life. It's going to help you. But I want to challenge you all for next week. I want to challenge you to pick up a book. I want you to start reading that book. But choose a book that's beneficial for your life. Whatever it is, whether it's you want increase in your finances, you want to eat better, whether it's you want to travel, right? Pick a book and start reading that book. Just whether it's just 30 minutes a day. I always tell people just start with 30 minutes a day. It's not that serious. But if it's a good book, you're going to go past the 30 minutes, okay? But do that. Something that helps me is I read a chapter a day. So I make sure I get a chapter done. And you can start there. I'm determined to shift a little bit because I try to read like 2 books a month. But then I heard a multimillionaire say the average multimillionaire reads 6 books a month. And I'm like, how do y'all do that? Whoa, I'm still trying to figure that one out to see how I can do that. But I'm going to try to get to 3 first before I can get to 6. But when I heard that, I'm always about lifestyle. So I look at people that I like their lifestyle. I said all the time, growing up, my mom and dad were not married. My mom worked a job. And guess what? While working that job, she worked for 30 years of my life. Just work. We didn't go anywhere. But then I got my dad who owns 7 businesses, a very successful man, and I never seen him work. I used to call him lazy, like he don't do nothing. But the way he lived, I loved. My mom only had 1 car. Then I go to my dad's house, he got 5 to 7 cars, and I'm like, you're the life I want. And I didn't realize, and I would have never known that if I never had the option or I saw both. But I did. My dad did whatever he wanted to do, right? So it's like, that's the life I want. But he also showed us, things happen, Because I always tell people, I saw my dad own all of these businesses, but I also saw my dad lose all of this. And then in 365 days, he had more than he ever had. So all that showed me was, if you can do it, I can do it. That's all it showed me. And I needed to see that. I needed to see that you can one day have something can happen in life, shut it down, but you also can receive it again. Sometimes you got to ask yourself, what livelihood would you prefer? You may want to mow your own lawn. I don't, right? So you may mow it because you don't want to pay nobody. I would rather pay somebody to do that. You may want to clean your house. I prefer to pay somebody to clean up, So and some people may look at that and say that I should be ashamed of myself. But one of the things that I'm learning from my mentors and coaches is, no, you pay for what you want. People do what they want to do. And if that's what you want, you do that. But if somebody else wants something else, you can't get mad because they want something else. Because God actually wants all of us to have great things. But great things to you may not look like great things to me. And you have to really begin to ask yourself those questions. What is it that you want, not what people want for you? What is it that you want, not what people want for you? And when you start focusing on your harvest moments, what you're going to focus on is what is the crops that are being picked from you, not from other people. You're going to focus on the blessings that God has given you, not other people. Sometimes we got to stay focused, laser focused on what we want, and that's the only way we can help somebody else. It is not a bad thing when you're focused on you. I don't care what people make you think or believe. That's not a bad thing, because how in the world can you be effective in an area if you're not first effective with yourself in that area? So what I want you to take with that as you read next week, I want you to figure out what is it that you really want for your life, because that's the only way you're going to help your children. That's the only way you're going to help your family. That's the only way you're going to help your friends. You first got to figure out what is it that you really want. And then you got to make up in your mind that you're going to do what it takes to go get it. So you guys, I am Timera Bell. This is the Timera Bell Show. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you share the video. Until next time. Hey you guys, I hope you enjoyed the show on today. If you would like to partner with our ministry or partner with our talk show, we would greatly appreciate it. There are so many things that we're trying to do within the community, but also globally with access to the virtual world. So if you would like to sow, or you would like to partner with us, or even donate, you can donate by going to Cash App Team Increase 2019. Now we have something called the Gigantic Faith Seed, all right? And that's a seed of either 38, 58, or 108. We would love for you to partner with the Gigantic Faith Seed. And I just believe that that particular seed, when you speak to it, God is going to do some things in your life that's going to be a blessing. But not only that, I want you to know that the seed that you donate or sow into this ground, it is definitely fertile. Jasmine, let's talk about some of the things that we're doing here at Increase Nation, as well as with the talk show. One of the things that we're focused on is young people. You know, Jasmine is getting ready to launch Queens of the Nation. You guys, yes, Queens of the Nation, where she's going to be dealing with ages 5 to 21. And Jasmine, come on now. We're living in a society now where our young people, that they're looking for, they're crying out for that guidance, that leadership, that love. So what are some things that you could say when it comes to our young people, and some of the things that we're really trying to fulfill within our organization? Teaching self-respect, how to love yourself. Increase Nation is a place where you will definitely gain increase in every aspect of your life. And it starts with you. It starts with self-love. It starts with self-development. So I believe that Increase is that place, if you're looking for that, to come and gain that guidance from God, gain that relationship from God. And you're going to see every area, finances, business, marriage, friendship, family, it all increase. Awesome. Can you just tell them a little bit about how you think you've grown as an individual, as a person, just by being a part of Increase? Oh, yes. I've grown tremendously. One of the things I've grown is, well, you're looking at it. I'm in front of a camera. But I've grown in my relationship with God and been able to express that to others proudly. I've grown in prayer, and I've grown in my worship and my praise. I've grown in literally every aspect, as a leader, as a mother, as a wife, as a woman, period. I've been able to stand up and be proud of the things that I do. Wow. Glory to God on that. I am just such in amazement right now. And that's what we're trying to do. We want everybody to have that testimony where they can say that they have grown in every aspect of their life. So we're asking you to help us by sowing, by donating, or even by becoming a tither in our ministry. Why? So that we can continue to help lives, one person at a time, transforming the lives of those raising tomorrow, but also showing them how to have a relationship with God and how to become their better self. So again, if you would like to sow, if you would like to tithe, or if you would just like to partner, all you have to do is Cash Out Team Increase 2019. We thank you in advance for your seed.
And I want you to know again that you are sowing